scary stuff.
Live streaming.
Hello.
Hi.
We're going to take a picture, everyone holding a peanut whip, and then we're going to... Hi.
Hi, I'm live streaming. Tell me what we're looking at. What are we doing?
We're looking at a retirement party for Peter Roskam, and we're gathered at Barrington, Illinois City Hall. And this group represents a coalition of groups coming together to tell Peter Roskam how we feel and what we think the deficit is going to do to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, look at this. What is this?
That's his cake for a party.
That's fantastic.
That's beautiful. You got a picture of it?
Yeah, I'm live streaming here for Indivisible, Illinois. Who made this cake? This is fantastic.
I don't know. I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Did you get the retirement notice?
Yeah. Can you
Okay.
read it for us? What's it say?
Oh, can you read it?
Of course.
She can read
But
it.
I spoke already. You read it.
I have my glasses on, so yeah, I think you better, yeah. Sorry.
Notice of termination of employment. We are going to present Peter Roskam with this pink slip. And this is the pink slip that tells him, you're fired.
Everybody stand by Jerry. This way. Everybody stand by the poster.
Yeah, if everybody can crowd together and hold up your pink slips.
Everybody stand over here.
But I'll hold up my hand.
Who's taking this?
Well, I think we all should.
Everybody, come on over. Go. Everybody, come on over. Hold up your
Okay, you ready? Kathy. Kathy. Where's our sign? Oh.
Okay, looking good.
Hey, Leslie, where?
You gotta really squeeze in.
Leslie. Where's our sign?
Looking good.
Can you put it out?
Wait. Okay, down low. Low. You don't know what low means. Put it down. I'll hold it open. I tell you.
Okay.
There.
1, 2.
Roskam sold us out. Don't have any doubt. 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 Roskam sold us out. Roskam's owners aren't our owners. Roskam's owners aren't our owners. Roskam's owners aren't our owners. Owners aren't our owners. Aren't our owners. Roskam's owners aren't our owners. Throwing seniors under the bus. Roskam's ignoring us. Throwing seniors under the bus. Roskam keeps ignoring us. Throwing seniors under the bus. Roskam keeps ignoring us. Throwing seniors under the bus. Roskam keeps ignoring us. Throwing seniors under the bus. Roskam keeps ignoring us. It's time is now expired. Roskam should retire. It's time is now expired. Roskam should retire. His time is now expired. Roskam should retire. His time is now expired. Roskam should retire. His time is now expired. Roskam should retire. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey.
Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go, hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's
Well,
got to
it's
go.
12 o'clock, so I guess we good going. My name is Jerry Frieda. I'm a senior who lives in the 6th, and we're here today to put Peter Roskam on notice that a pink slip is waiting for him in November. We didn't send Roskam to Washington to lead the way on what amounts to an age tax on the seniors in this district, did we? No! Let's just run through his pink slip, shall we? Number 1, sold us out to pay off his donors with a new tax bill. Thanks to Peter Roskam and his pal Trump's tax scam, my taxes are up, the value of my house is down, and my health care is probably going to cost more.
Yeah.
If you had any doubt that Roskam sold us out, know that his campaign got a reported $100,000 from the Koch brothers through Paul Ryan just a couple weeks after the tax scam passed. Number 2, voted to eliminate health insurance for tens of thousands of his constituents. Remember, last year Roskam voted to pull about $2 trillion of federal money out of health care that would have resulted in thousands of seniors in this district paying more and getting less for Medicare, and 55 to 65-year-olds seeing huge increases in their premiums, and tens of thousands of people in the 6th on Medicaid completely losing their coverage. Number 3, plans to cut more money for Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. Just like clockwork, the day after the tax bill was signed, Roskam's boss, Paul Ryan, said that now, because of the looming deficit, which they had just added $1.5 trillion to, Congress needs to take a look at cuts in Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. And guess who is the new chairman of the Health Subcommittee at House Ways and Means? None other than your Congressman Peter Roskam, the same guy who just sold us out as the chairman of the Tax Subcommittee. Should we give him more time
No.
to do more damage to the seniors in this district?
No.
No town halls. Number 4. We're up to over 9 years now since Roskam has held a town hall.
Wow.
9 years.
Wow.
Besides that, in the last year, we've come to his office here in Barrington, gone to his office in West Chicago, gone to his office in Wheaton, and gone to various other places around the district on many occasions to ask him to meet with seniors who are concerned with the actions he's taken. Nothing.
Nothing.
Crickets. Not even a no or get off my lawn. It's like we're invisible. Are you invisible?
No.
Number 5. Votes with Trump agenda 90% of the time. That pretty much speaks for itself. Roskam and his pal Trump both use the same kind of math. Let's say we go to the pizza place across the street, and 10 of us chip in to buy pizza. Then we let Roskam cut the pizza into 10 slices and pass them out. He'd give 8 slices to one person and only 2 slices to the other 9 people. And then they ask you what you're complaining about. On average, everybody got 1 piece.
Yeah.
Don't fall for it. That was the math of the Roskam-Trump tax scam, and that's going to be the math behind the Roskam-Trump healthcare scam that they're cooking up now and going to try to force down our throats.
Is that what we sent Peter Roskam to Congress to do?
No!
The pink slip is signed. People of the 6th District, and our title is constituents. Remember us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Friends, we need to show up on March 20th, and we need to show up on November 6th to make this pink slip real. On the importance of showing up, I'd like to welcome to the Bullhorn a living legend in this area, Sue Walton, who actually ran for Congress and understands the importance of showing up. Sue?
Well, showing up, folks. Thanks for showing up. We are showing the world. We're showing Peter Roskam what we're all about. About 60,000 voters, Democratic voters, stayed home in the last election cycle. 60,000 people said, oh well, it won't matter. Our vote matters. Most important part of elections is just showing up and voting. So we have to help people understand why Roskam needs to retire. Remember, in single votes, August the 18th, 1920, Harry Burns' mother in Tennessee sent him a telegraph and said, don't forget to be a good boy and put the rat in ratification. That gave women the right to vote. Tennessee was the final state in getting ratification for women's right to vote. In Virginia, just last month, in 2017 election, the election for one woman hinged on a vote. A single vote, and Republicans altered the election by selecting a spoiled ballot to give the victory to the Republicans. If we show up and we have numbers, those single digits will not exist. Virginia and many of us will not lose an election by a single vote. Locally, Senator Rooney, thank you folks. Locally, Senator Rooney was awarded an award for a gun licensing bill, and he was awarded for his courage. He stood out in Springfield to vote for gun licensing owners. So they gave him an award. When he accepted it, he said, I don't believe in regulations. I don't believe in this law, but I believe that the people in my constituents spoke. And we did. The folks standing here today called him. We sent him a witness slip, and we forced him to be the single vote that took this bill out of the Illinois Senate. So folks, a single vote is critically important. Roskam believes when he gets these numbers, he believes that he's doing everything right. Is he doing everything right? No! Does he represent the people? No! Does he listen to the people? No! So we cannot afford to have a single vote stay home. Roskam needs to go. The election belongs to us. It is our voice and our time to send him packing.
Yes! Do it! Right.
Thank you, Sue. And now if you could put your hands and mittens or gloves together for Elizabeth Hooper, the super activist from the 6th District, who's going to talk briefly about what's actually at stake this year. Elizabeth?
Hi, everybody. So, Peter Roskam spent nearly all year in 2017 trying to take health care away from millions of people in order to keep his campaign promises and please his corporate donors. But for families, seniors, and people with addiction or disabilities, and many others in the 6th Congressional District, our health care isn't about partisan politics. Healthcare is personal. It's fundamental to our lives and to taking care of our families. President Trump is touting the economic upturn, well, until recently, we've seen over the last several years and the number of jobs created. In a nation where people work and there's tremendous wealth, no one should go without health care. Everyone in our state and in our country deserves access to quality, affordable health care that they can count on no matter who they vote for or where they vote. This year, voters across this district are going to vote their values. Healthcare voters are going to the polls to remind politicians that it is the job of everyone elected to office, regardless of party or geography, to make sure healthcare is protected under the ACA, Medicaid, Medicare, and CHIP. It's their job to make sure that for-profit insurance companies and prescription drug companies comply with the rules under the Affordable Care Act that stop them from discriminating against pre-existing conditions, older people and seniors, women, and people with disabilities. It's their job to stop cuts to Medicaid and Medicare for working families, people with disabilities, mothers, children and seniors, especially cuts that fund tax breaks for the rich and corporations. Healthcare is personal, and none of us will forget the stories of people who lived in terror all year because of proposed cuts. None will forget the 13 million who are going without coverage and the millions more who may lose it because of the current proposals. Healthcare voters will remember all the way to the ballot box. Yes. We need to turn out not only for the primary, but in November. Let's flip this seat.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Ho! Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey, hey.
Ho ho! Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! Peter Roskam's got to go. Hey hey! Ho ho! Peter Roskam's got to go.
So, as we wrap it up here, you should know that this is kind of our anniversary. So happy anniversary, everybody. It was 1 year ago this week that hundreds of us from around the 6th gathered in the cold in Palatine, only to see Peter Roskam run out the back door rather than face his constituents. Since then, there's been a movement growing every day throughout this district to hold our congressmen accountable. And it's about time to take a moment to thank the people who have been really driving the bus for the last 12 months. And that would be the women of the 6th District. Without their energy, intelligence, and persistence, this bus would still be in the garage. So again, thank you. And thanks for coming out in the cold and the snow today. If you've got one of these pink slips, you can go upstairs and hand it into Peter Roskam's office, which he's probably not there, and there's a receptionist in the hallway who will take it. And may or may not give it to him. I don't really know. Probably will. And also, just wanted to mention, at that restaurant across the street, Neoteca, we've got some space reserved. If you want to grab some lunch, enjoy each other's company, keep the party going, maybe do some postcards, and most importantly, eat this cake. Thanks again for coming out, everybody.
Is anyone going up to the office?
Pardon me?
Is anyone going up to the
Yeah, I'm going to go up there and
Jerry, you
see what happens.
to say a few words.
Huh? No, we can't do that. It's not
not
part.
allowed?
Yeah, right.
Not allowed.
Jerry, Thank you. I'm still live streaming on Indivisible.
Oh, are you? Oh, great.
So I can follow you to the office if you
Sure,
want, or
sure.
Yeah.
Anybody going up there? We're going to try to turn these thing in. And then we're going to have some pizza.
Upstairs, we should go, folks.
They won't let you up.
They won't let you up.
No, I don't. That's fine.
They didn't the last time. I was here last year.
Might unfreeze.
Good work.
My granddaughter this morning, and they just rushed home and couldn't believe.
Oh, okay. We might have to turn them in here. Okay. Don't bring these up to Peter Roskam office. Do we do that, or can we leave them with you? Will you give them to him?
He's not here, so.
Can
we leave these outside his
All right, we can leave them with this nice person here, and she's going to make sure that they get up to Roskam's office. Thank you.
Sure? Honest? No, I'm just gonna throw him in. Of course I'll put him in his box. Of course I will. Everyone smile with your pink slips.
Beautiful.
Wait, take mine too.
Go ahead.
I love your idea that it's easier to hold this aside.
Well, you know, that's the second time. I put wrapping paper the other way.
Some of them have them with the thing around and then it just hangs. Great.
Yeah. That's Al Gore's law. That would be Al Gore's law. Who are you? Thank you. Oh, I didn't. I just came to speak. But who are you?
I'm in Indivisible, Illinois, letting them know happy
Okay. You're posted?
We're still live streaming. Would you like to close our video for us? Like, tell us again who you are.
My name is Sue Walton. I live in Arlington Heights, but I lived in Peter Roskam's district up until a year ago for 25 years. And we have watched him, or the lack of him, in the district. So I'm here because I believe that we can turn this seat around. Thank you.
What's it going to take to get everybody to vote? That's the thing.
I think it's going to take really boots on the ground, and we are very fortunate to have a time that people are starting to pay attention. Social Security is very important. The cost of insurance is important, and health care is important. Lots of things are important, but this one will mobilize. My mother had Social Security. It was meager, but she had Social Security and adequate health care. My grandmother, before Social Security, traveled between homes, and her health care depended on what family had the money to get her to the doctor. And so her children supported her in those days because we had no social safety net. So we need to give dignity to seniors, we need to give respect to seniors, and we need to know that our Social Security we paid in Federal Insurance Compensation Act. We paid for that. And we feel very betrayed when they start calling it entitlements. We earned it. And we're going to demand to get it back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.